You live in America and you don't own a business, you've given up your right to be free. Excited because it is Monday. It's a brand new day. We got one more week left and February is gone and then we'll be moving into March. And so, I just want to ask you, how are things looking in terms of your goals that you set as of January? Or the first question is, did you even set some goals in January, right? But I just tell you, for me, I just wanted to be in a position where I could come and go as I please, do the things that I wanted to, and live life on my terms, if that makes sense, right? That's really, really important to me, because I want to be able to have impact and not just feel like I'm in this routine every day. Does that make sense? Like a routine that really serves someone else. And so here, what we teach you is how to build, what I do is I help high performers and business owners to add a second income stream without having to add more hours. And if you want to click on this, go to this QR code, you can do that. Or, you know what, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it in the comments and I'll pin it to the top. Hold on one second. Let's see if I can do that. So I'll pin it to the comments. That way, if you guys want to go check it out, it's a 5-question quiz that you could take, and it'll help you to determine if you are ready to escape the grind, right? And when I say the grind, I just mean, obviously you got a lot of people who love what they do, right? And by the way, you have two types of people. You have the people who love what they do, but maybe they're just not earning what they want to earn. And then you have the people who really don't like what they do. It just pays the bills. Now, that is the majority of people that I found, is the people who don't like what they do, but they just got to pay the bills. But there's a small percentage of people who really love what they do. They just would love to have more income, right? And still do what they love. And I help both people, right? Because everybody can expand in some capacity, right? Everybody can expand in some capacity. So that's what we help people to do. And I'll tell you how we help people do it too. We have multiple ways to help people do it, but the main way that we help people to do it is through what I call a non-traditional business, right? In a traditional business, you have to have a lot of capital up front. Like if you wanted to own a McDonald's, you have to be an accredited investor. Do you all know what an accredited investor is? An accredited investor is someone who has at least $1 million of liquidity, right? So, most people would be $999,000 short of that. So that's kind of out the window, right? Now, of course, you can start something from scratch, which is, I think it's a good idea. The challenge with that is you have to really learn how to build that and figure that all out, right? Like you got to figure out, like most mentors are not necessarily going to coach you if you're taking away their market share in a traditional business model. But in this non-traditional model, you have mentors and coaches who will mentor you and coach you because there's reciprocity built into it. There's systems in place where everybody's kind of fed. Does that make sense? So it's not taken away from the mentors. It's actually adding to the mentors to help you and to coach you, right? I love that environment because, I think you should get paid well to help me to become successful, right? Doesn't that make sense? That just makes sense to me, right? I'm for everybody succeeding, right? So anyway, my point is we help people do this through a non-traditional business model where you can literally set up your own franchises across the country and not have to have $1 million in liquidity, right? So you can literally be like McDonald's and have systems that are already set up and already in place. I know this sounds really weird and maybe foreign to some of you, maybe, because maybe it's not like the conversation that you're used to having, but it is a very real conversation, and this is basically how we help people. And the beauty of this is, when I started in this project, I was a broke college student working 3 jobs full-time in school, and I didn't even have any money, right? But I borrowed a little bit of money, and when I say a little bit of money, it was like less than $200, right? But I borrowed a little bit. It's actually probably less than that now. But I borrowed a little bit of money, and I turned that into an extra $500. And from there, I was like, this is when the light bulb really went off for me, because I was like, wait a minute. I could make $500 on the weekend. And I say the weekend, but it was really like on a Saturday. So it was like in one day. But I could make $500 and I didn't have to work 40 hours for it. Like what? Right? So that's when the light bulbs went off. And I'm like, man, if I could really do this, this could be a thing. And so that's what we did. And we've been able to now scale it to, six-figure income and even, closing in on seven figures. But the point that I'm making with this is that, first off, we all have dreams and goals and things that we want to accomplish. And sometimes we just need a vehicle that can help us to get there. So some people, the goal is they just want to travel more. I was just looking at my travel schedule and I'm like, wow, every year I have a pretty solid travel schedule. And this is how I wanted my life to be. I wanted to be able to kind of just live life and enjoy life. So in April, I'll be in New Orleans. In May, I'll be in the Bahamas. In June, I should be in the I will be in the Dominican Republic. Got a couple of things I got to finish up on for that. In July, I'll be in Ohio for a reunion. I think I'll be in Buffalo too around that time, maybe. And then in August, I'll be in Buffalo. And who knows where else I'll be in between all of that. But I'm only saying, like, I wanted to have life by design instead of by default. I talk about that a lot. But we need a vehicle that can help us to do that. It's not just going to happen on its own. You know what I mean? Like, we actually have to have some things in place that can allow us to do these things, right? That we can still have an income that supports us where we can pay our bills, but still live the lifestyle that we want to have. And a lot of times, the job is just not enough, right? Have you ever heard that we're bought at wholesale and sold at retail? Think about that. Like, if a job, and I'm not bashing jobs, by the way, you got to have the job to pay the bills. But what I'm saying is have something else on the side that could outweigh that at some point and eventually replace it altogether. And that's really what happened for me. So it's been more than a decade, actually leaning close to 2 decades since I've had a job, and I've been able to just be independent and work from home and do it on my own terms. And now I spend the bulk of my time helping other people to do that. So for those of you who are ready to escape the grind, there's a QR code, but it's also, if you're on your phone and you don't have another device, it's actually pinned in the comments. If you want to take that 5-question quiz and see if you're ready to escape the grind, you can, and we can start working with you to help you to start to design your life, right? So I'm excited about it because helping a ton of people, and I just want to continue to help more people because I remember when I needed the help. And I needed the help really, really bad. I wanted success. I don't know if anybody else on here remembers MTV Cribs, but I grew up watching MTV Cribs saying one day that could be me. The only problem was I didn't rap, dance, or sing, and I thought I would make the NBA. That didn't work either. Although I'm a good ball player, y'all see some of my videos, but NBA didn't work out for me. But I did know that entrepreneurship is really the way to go, right? Entrepreneurship is the way to go because you can earn profits instead of wages, right? Now, in entrepreneurship, basically all you're doing is solving problems for a profit. That's it. You're solving someone else's problem for a profit. And why not? Some of us are already solving people's problems and we're just not getting a profit from it. Right? Like, are you the person that everybody calls for information or for help or some guidance or something? And you give, and you do it just because that's just who you are. And there's nothing wrong with that, but do that, but let's find a way to monetize that. Right? And I can help you with that too. But the point is, I want you to be in a position where you can call the shots. Right? So if I say on a Monday morning or Monday afternoon, hey, I want to just go to the beach, or I want to just go to another state, another country, right? I can do that, right? And I don't have to ask anybody for permission to do it. And that is, I cannot tell you how liberating that is. So who wouldn't want to have that kind of a lifestyle where you can just, do what you want to do, right? We all want that. That's the American dream, right? So I heard someone say, if you live in America and you don't own a business, you've given up your right to be free. We help people, we help high professionals and business owners to add a second income stream. And by the way, you don't have to be a high performer or a business owner. That's just who we're looking to attract. But, we have those types of people who we help, and then we help everybody. There's a QR code here, and you can take that quiz if you to take it. It's a QR code. If you're on your phone, you might have a hard time doing that. As I mentioned, I was a broke college student working 3 jobs. I was full-time in school, struggling, and I just needed something where I didn't have to look out the window all the time and wonder what it was like to be outside while I was working, or looking at the clock all the time and like, oh my God, I just wish I could be off and just enjoy life, And then why should we only enjoy life between 5 to 9? 5 to 9, 5 to 10. Like, what if you could have the whole day? And why is it that society teaches us that we have to wait till we retire to live the good life, like to be able to travel and just do all this stuff, right? Like, I want to do it now. I was just telling a young brother yesterday that, like, I just don't want that life. I want to be able to enjoy life now. I told you guys I'll be in a different place every month starting in April, right? I'll be in a different place. And, I enjoy that. I love it being like that, right? I love it being like that because I get to decide that and not let someone else decide it. You know what I mean? So New Orleans in April, Bahamas in May, Dominican Republic in June, Ohio for a reunion in July, and then another reunion in Buffalo, and who knows where else I'll be because we add more stuff as we go, right? We add more stuff as we go. Why? Because we can, right? And we get to, you know what I mean? I had to check myself, because I'm here in the school line at my nephew's school to pick him up. And like, if you want to get them earlier, you have to wait. You got to get there like an hour ahead of time because the car line gets backed up and it doesn't, like, school's not out till like 2:30. But if you come at 2:30, then you'll be all the way at the back. So my point is, I was in my mind complaining about the fact of waiting in line for like an hour for him to come out of school. But then I was like, wait a minute, let me check myself on that, because I was like, I get to wait in line and pick him up, because, like, hey, otherwise I would be at a job in the cubicle or doing something doing something that was kind of monotonous and just kind of like not having the full freedom that I have right now. You know what I mean? That is what I enjoy, having that autonomy to be able to come and go and do what I want. So I had to check myself on that and say, hey, I get to stay in line, right? And I could always be productive while I'm in the car, right? That's why I'm on here right now, being productive and talking to you all. So I hope this is helpful, by the way, and I hope you're getting some value. Listen, I am committed to helping at least 10 people to earn an extra $50,000 this year. It's only February, so we still got a good bit of the year left. I'm committed to helping at least 10 people. No, let me say, well, I said 10, so we'll just keep it at 10. But 10 people to earn an extra $50,000 this year, like part-time. That means you don't have to change what you're already doing. So if you already make $50,000, now you're at $100,000. If you make $100,000, you're at $150,000. But we're talking about an extra $50,000. Matter of fact, I'm actually going to title my next live that. I'm going to title my next live that because I want people to know that we are serious and we mean business when it comes to helping you, right? We have a lady that just got involved like a few months ago, and she's already at $200,000, right? In income. right? That's pretty powerful, right? An extra 200,000 from just a few months ago, right? It could happen that fast. Like literally, we could help you make 1,000 this week, an extra $1,000 without quitting your job or changing anything that you're already doing, but just having an extra 1,000. So now you could put that in the market, or you could start your own travel fund, or you could eliminate some debt, whatever it is you want to do, but you get the choice to do that because it's additional income and it's coming from profits and not wages, and it's also not coming from your paycheck, right? We work sometimes hard enough so we don't get fired, and they pay us just enough so we don't quit. So it's like we're in this repetitive cycle. I don't know if this resonates with anybody, but I just want to help more people because I know that I personally wanted this kind of level of freedom, right? So I'm excited, I'm thankful. And like I said, I had to check myself on getting in the car line because like, otherwise I wouldn't be able to do this. I'd have to be in somebody's desk or on the clock or on the hourly, whatever, you know what I mean? So I get to be productive at the same time. You know what I mean? I get to be productive. Welcome, everybody. So like I said, it's a little colder here in South Carolina this week. It was like in the 80s last week, and then all of a sudden the cold front came back. But I believe it's supposed to be really bad up in the northeastern region where I'm from, in Buffalo, and especially Connecticut. So anybody in that area, I just want to make sure that you stay safe and pray for you and all that good stuff. It's supposed to sweep across the northeast. And I think some of it we're getting in terms of right now, but for the most part, I think we have turned the corner on the cold weather for the most part, right? In South Carolina, where I'm at, weather is beautiful, just a little chilly, right? But it's beautiful nonetheless. It's not snowing like it would be in Buffalo, where I'm originally from, right? It's not snowing, so that's cool for me. There was a lady that's a part of our team that just got involved. She used to work in collections, and now in just a few short months, she's earned over $200,000 with us. Now, I'm just going to be honest, that's not the typical thing, right? She was a little bit more exceptional than most people. But look, if she can make 200 in a few months, we can certainly help you make an extra 1,000 this week. An extra 1,000 part-time, spare time. You decide. I did a video today. If you want to look at it, you can. But I was talking about being skeptical. And listen, I'm not against being skeptical. What I am against is not investigating your skepticism, right? Like, I'll give you an example. This happens to me all the time. So we're driving, right? And everybody is in one line. And I'm thinking, what's going on up there? So I'm like, well, I'm not just going to get in the other line with everybody else. That's just not how I'm wired. I'm at least going to see what's happening in the other line. And would you believe that there's a completely open lane that anyone could have drove in, but because most people are conditioned to just kind of conform and do what everyone else does, that's just what happens. And now you got this one line that's all backed up. And me, I just take a risk. That's the challenge, is a risk of the unknown. But I take a risk and I get in that other line and find out that it's an open lane and it's perfectly fine. That's an example of what I mean by investigating your skepticism, right? Like, I was skeptical a little bit, like, hey, how come nobody's in this side? But I decided to investigate the skepticism. And that's all I'm saying is, you owe it to yourself, right, to at least check things out. So when opportunities come, and speaking of opportunities, I heard an acronym for POOR. It's passing over opportunities repeatedly. POOR, right? Passing over opportunities repeatedly. And I don't know about you, but I was tired of being PO, right? I was tired of being PO. So, so I decided that I would investigate. So when people bring opportunity to me, I'm going to take a look at it, because who knows? listen, I put this in the video today too, but I said your biggest blessings can be disguised in weird packages, right? So sometimes God will wrap things up. Like, I'll give you an example. We ask for an oak tree and God gives us a chestnut. I think it's a chestnut, right? So you got to plant the chestnut and you got to grow that thing into the oak tree. He's not going to just give you the oak tree, right? You got to work it. You got to have some faith and have some activity going on there, right? And so that's all I'm saying is put yourself in position where you can live life by design instead of by default, and investigate your skepticism. Check things out. Look into things, right? Because if you don't look into things, things will always be the same, right? And who wants things to always stay the same, right? I was tired of things always being the same. You know what I mean? You know, like year after year after year, like we shouldn't struggle every year, right? It's okay to struggle 1 year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, but every single year we shouldn't struggle. And I'm not saying everybody's struggling, but I'm just saying that was my experience when I first took a look and got involved. I was tired of life being the same all the time, right? I wanted to travel, like I said. I wanted to experience life. I wanted to do things. I wanted to have nice things and do nice things, you know? And I just wanted life to be better. I've always been a dreamer. How about you all? Are you a dreamer, or are you just like okay with things being the way they are, right? Like, I want to go to new places. I was just talking to somebody, found something fascinating, guys. I was talking with somebody. I'm still researching because guess what? I investigate my own skepticism, right? I'm a big researcher. Like, I'm a big component of research and investigating and looking into things. So I was talking to this lady, and she's from Africa, and she's from Kenya. And I was asking her, I said, hey, when you go to Africa, you got to get like a lot of shots and stuff. Because me personally, I'm just going to keep it real. I don't get a lot of immunizations and a lot of shots and different things like that. Like, I don't get the flu shot. I didn't get the COVID shot. And I'm not judging anybody who does. Everybody can do their own thing. But that's another reason why I wanted freedom. Because, like, for a job to tell me that I have to take a shot and put something into my body that I don't want in my body, oh no, this is not happening, right? Like, that's just not going to be the thing for me. So I just don't want anyone to have that kind of level of control over my life. So my point is, I want to go to Africa. I've never been to Africa. And it's like on my bucket list, right? But one of the things that I was concerned with is all these like shots you got to take, I guess, for like the mosquitoes and some of the bugs and things like that. And, that may be okay, but I got to do a little bit more research on it. But when I was talking to this lady, she was like, oh, and Kenya is one of the best places that you can go. And in Kenya, you don't really have to get a lot of those shots, right? And it's like one of the easiest places to go to when you go to Africa. So I was looking up the flights, and I'm like, man, I don't know how much the flights are other places in Africa, but it was only like $1,000 to go to Kenya, right? Between $1,000 and $1,500, and that's not bad, right? I mean, you pay $1,000 to go to Hawaii, right? So to pay $1,000 to go to Africa, man, I'm game. You know what I mean? So I'm looking into that. I don't know if anybody on the line has ever been to Africa, but that's definitely going on my list. See, when I get to the end of my life, I want to be able to say that I lived life, right? When I'm not here, I want people to be able to say, man, he lived life. Right? He lived a full life. He left it all on the field, right? And to not live that kind of life, to me, it's just not a life. Now, everybody's different. Everybody has their own thing, but that's just me, right? And like I said, I don't take anything from anybody, or I don't try to put my opinions on anybody else. I'm just telling you my thoughts, and I want to live life on a different level, right? So Africa is definitely on my list. Africa, but a lot of places are on my list. I want to go to Greece. I want to go to Spain. I want to go to, why not go? Why not go to all the continents? Why not? Like, let's see the world, So because you can't take away experiences. Like things are cool, but experiences you'll never. And you know me, I not only take the experiences, I document them, right? So I video and I record a lot of stuff because I want to be able to document these experiences. I want my children to be able to say, man, I want to be the hero for my children. I want my children to be like, man, you did that, you went there, you did, like, I want to be able to do that one day. I want basically to be an example for them, to say you can do whatever you want, you can live the life that you want. Doesn't that make sense for us to want to do that? Right? Because you do know that we are the lid for our families, right? Like if we, not always, but most of the time, right? Like for example, I'm like the only one in my immediate family that's moved out of state, right? But when I think about it, my mother never left this. I mean, she travels, but she's never really like moved out of that state, and her mother never moved out of that state, and so it's just like a cycle, right? Where we just kind of like go off of what our forefathers have done, and we don't really like stray too far away from that. And what I'm saying here, it's funny, I just watched some more comedy show, and she was talking about being out of the box, right? That's me all day. Like, I want to be out of the box. I want to be different than everybody else. I want to do my own thing. I just took a test because I just took this test for my values, my top values, and what it is. If anybody wants the link, you could DM me and I'll send you the link. It's really cool. It's like you pick 20 values that resonate with you, and then you scale it down and you pick 10 of those. Out of the 20 that you pick, it's like a bunch of them. Out of the 20 that you pick, then you pick your top 10. And then after the top 10, then you pick your top 5. Would you guys believe probably the number one thing that was on my values list? It was freedom. Like, that's why I put the brand, the whole brand around, I built the whole brand around freedom, right? So we have a podcast called Code Freedom. If you want to check it out, it's on YouTube. Just type in Code Freedom. You can check out some of our episodes. Now, I will admit, I did take a sabbatical a little bit. I did 200 plus episodes, but when I come back to it, I need to come correct with like a whole team, because I don't want to do it all by myself. So that's what I'm working on and preparing. But the point is, I did over 200 episodes, and the podcast is called Code Freedom, and it's where we basically give you the codes to freedom. And I actually kind of miss it. So I do want to hurry up and get back to it, but I do so much. I want to make sure that I can do it with excellence, and I want to have a team, because I got kind of burnt out, right? When you got to find people to interview, do this thing, record it, edit it, post it, promote it, all the different things, it could be a lot. So I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying I got to move a little differently with that. But if you want to check out some of those, then man, I interviewed a guy who does stock options, and he took $300 and turned it into $30,000. Now it's millions of dollars, right? I interviewed a guy who his house was in foreclosure, and he was in a really bad situation, and now him and his family have earned over his business has produced over $60 million or something like that. But obviously he's not doing so bad. And it's not about the millions or anything like that. I'm just saying I've interviewed some really cool people. I was talking to my sister-in-law, and she was asking me why I don't eat certain things, and I was explaining to her that I had a guest on my podcast. So that's the thing I like about the podcast, is I get to learn from the people who are on the podcast. And I'm really a big component of learning and self-growth. I love it. I'm addicted to it. Like, I love to grow. And that's why I want to have these experiences. Like for me, when I go to Africa, it's another level of growth, right? When I go to some of these other places, it's another level of growth, because number one, you got there, but number two, you get to take on new experiences and learn new things, right? Like, for example, I've never driven my car on the other side of in some places they don't drive on the left side, they drive on the right side. Like, that would be something cool to experience, right? I mean, it could be something just as small as that. right? That you don't get to do every day. Oh, by the way, check this out, guys. You guys get me all excited, right? I mean, it could be something just as small as that, right? That you don't get to do every day. Oh, by the way, check this out, guys. You guys get me all excited. When we go to the Bahamas, I'm going to get on this hot air balloon because I was just there in November and it's the same cruise that I was on. So anybody here ever been on a hot air balloon? I've been wanting to do that for a long time, and I'm going to do that in May when I go to the Bahamas. When I go to the Bahamas, man, I'm getting on this hot air balloon. That's a new experience for me. That's a new level of growth for me. Does that make sense? I want everybody to have this level of an experience, right? To be able to just do all these different things. And so I'm going to keep pushing to not only have it for myself, but help other people to do it, because shame on me if I go straight to the top and then I just look down and look at everyone else. No, I'm like, no, you coming with me. I'm not even going to get there and then look back. I'm going to take you with me while I'm going up to the top. So that's just how I see it, is I just want everybody to be blessed. So by the way, guys, I help high performers and business owners to add a second income stream, escape the grind, build real freedom, and not have to add more hours to that. And if you want to scan this QR code, you can do that. There's a 5-question quiz called the Escape the Grind quiz that you could take. And if you're on your phone and you can't really scan it because you don't have another device, hey, grab your girl's device, grab your homeboy's device, grab somebody's device and do it. Or the link is in the comments. So if you want to, or you could just DM me, however you want to do, whatever you got to do, just get the link, because I want to help you. And this is just a quiz that you could take to see if you're ready to escape the grind, right? That's it. See if you're ready to escape the grind so you can live this life that I'm talking about. One thing that I love when you do start experiencing new things, like there's this guy, I won't mention his name, but when every time I talk to him, and this is not a bash, this is not a knock on anybody, but every time I talk to him, I realize, wow, you haven't experienced a lot in this world, in this life yet. Now, of course, I have some more years on me, yes, but even by the time I was his age, I've experienced a lot of things. And nobody gave them to me. I just put myself in positions where I could experience those things. I was just talking to a lady yesterday, and she said she went to New Orleans for Mardi Gras and all of that, and she had a blast. And we were just talking about restaurants to go to, and I was like, did you have a beignet, right? Like, most people wouldn't know a whole lot about that unless you've been to New Orleans, right? And I'll be there in April. Did you go? And I was telling her about this restaurant. It's called Mother's. It's really good soul food, right? And she was telling me some of her experiences and the places that I should go check out, you know? So like, you get to have these kind of conversations with people when you experience life from a different level. You know what I mean? Otherwise, we only talk about what we do in the state and just what we saw on TV and just, you know, life could be really small. And I just want to live a big life, right? Don't you want to live a big life? Right? And when I say a big life, I'm not talking about it has to be big, flashy things, but experiences, memories, moments that you can never take away and never get back. I want to help you do more too. Does that make sense? So if you're up for that, take this quiz. Let's connect. Let's see if we can position you to be able to do that. But I'm excited because 2026, it's only February, guys. It's only February. Now, February's gone, so it's about to be March. But we still got plenty of time to make some big things happen. Look, I'm looking to help at least 10 people make an extra 50 grand this year. And if you want to be one of those people, I'm highly committed to doing that. So come on board with me, check in, rock with me. And if you're a little skeptical, that's okay. We need a little skepticism, right? If I go to a place in an area that I'm not familiar with, of course I'm looking around because I gotta have my alerts up to protect me. But at the same time, sometimes the protection is the prison. It's okay to be skeptical, just investigate your skepticism, right? It's okay to be skeptical, just investigate it. Like, check it out, see what's going on. Don't just be skeptical and go the other way. Because now you're blocking your potential blessing. Sometimes blessings come in strange packages. This whole project and business and thing that I'm a part of is not something that was comfortable for me, not something that I really ever thought that I would do. So when people come to me and they say stuff like, oh, that's not for me, or, I can't, I'm like, yeah, you can. You're just choosing not to. You can do anything you want to do, right? You can do anything you want to. You just have to decide to get around people who already have, study, and learn how to do it. The opposite was living a life I didn't want to live because I didn't have any money and I needed a vehicle, and this was the vehicle, and other people were already succeeding. Like, people were making more in a month than I was making in a year. So you don't need to explain to me. I see it. And they would show me their bank accounts. They would show me their deposits. They would show me their checks. And I'm like, man, it's a lot of zeros, right? And so it just really inspired me, but it led me down this path. And I said, if it can happen for them, it can happen for me. All I got to do is figure out what they did. And by the way, I didn't really have to figure it out because they were willing to teach me. And now I'm willing to teach you. Thank you all for tuning in. And I'm excited because 2026 is about to be next level, like next level out of this world. So if you guys are ready to take a ride with me, let's go, right? I got this quiz. You can scan the QR code, see if you're ready to escape the grind. If you need the link, DM me, or the link is commented, it's pinned in the top, but it's ready to take it to another level. I want to hear where you plan on traveling this year, right? I'm going a lot of places, as I just mentioned to you all. I want to hear where you're traveling. I want to hear what you're doing. I want to hear how you're expanding and living your life on a different level, right? Let's go. Let's do it. Because if we don't do it, the opposite is just living in existence. And who wants to just exist when we can live? To live doesn't mean you're alive, right? To live doesn't mean you're alive. And there's so many of us who are living, but we're not alive. Right? We live, but we're not alive. Like, we need to come alive and say, look, let's enjoy the good weather. Let's enjoy taking a nice walk. Let's enjoy going to another state, another country. Let's enjoy giving and serving to other people. Let's enjoy having something that we're doing that has purpose and meaning in our lives to a point where now we feel fulfilled because we're helping somebody else. Like, what are we doing that's helping somebody else every single day? I'm talking about a direct impact that you've had with someone because of something that you do every day, right? One of the things that I do to have impact with people is lots of things, but one of the things is justice and security, right? I help people with justice and security. Oh, and I know I said I was about to go, but one more thing. I just finished watching the series Lincoln Lawyer. I love Lincoln Lawyer. I never wanted to be an attorney, but I love helping people who are disadvantaged. And I get to do that in what I do right now. Even though I'm not an attorney and I don't have to be an attorney, I get to do that around justice and security. You know what I mean? So have you all seen Lincoln Lawyer? If you haven't, I highly suggest it. It's on Netflix. It's a really cool show. But anyway, God bless y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I'm officially signing off. We'll see you over the top. Blessings to you.